Hello and welcome to my first episode. Okay, so today what are we gonna talk about? Today I'm gonna go through with you the equipments that I use for my weddings. So I use both film and digital. So I'm gonna go through with you the cameras and lenses that I use. Alright. Um for myself, I'm a Nikon user. For digital, my favorite camera will be the D750. Um for the fact that it has a swivel screen, so it actually helps me a lot with the angles that I can't reach because I am actually quite a short person. I'm only 5'4", so reaching a high angle is a problem for me. So having a tilt LCD screen really helps me a lot. Most of the time, I use the live view mode to shoot. Um, I will usually use my D750 for my secondary shot, for those tele shots and whatnot. Um, what I will use to pair up with my D750 will be either a 50 mm, depending on the situation. If it's a tight room, I will usually use a 50, but if it's a big hall or an outdoor event, I will usually use an 85. The reason why I like to use an 85 is because I can um, covertly shoot the moments of the guests, because sometimes you don't want to intimidate with your camera and big lens to take photos of them, because they are genuinely laughing, having a great time, and you don't want to step into their comfortable bubble to disturb and take their photos. So an 85 actually helps you to capture those moments from afar, and yet um still you still get a shot, you know compared to a 35. Sometimes you have to go close, and it depends on what kind of shot you want. It's either you want it to be a close an up close and personal shot, or you want it from far and genuine kind of emotion. So yeah, um my main camera will be the Nikon D600. This camera has been with me for almost 4 to 5 years, I would say. So yeah, uh, what I will pair up with a D600 is a 35 mm. Uh, Usually is to get all those safe shots, those wide establishing shots using this 35 mm. And the kind of weddings that I do are Malay weddings. So there will be instances where I have to take a lot of group shots up on stage. So a 35 mm will be good if it's a close proximity area. But sometimes I will use a 50 mm to just crop crop up stage. The thing about Malay wedding is we have uh, a stage decoration. We call it a dais. So the decor company will set it up nicely, and the couple will be sitting on the sofa or a stool or whatever, and friends and family will stand behind and beside them to take the group shots. Unlike other weddings where we go either table by table or the group will just gather around the couple. But no, for Malay weddings, we usually shoot uh, on the stage itself. So what I will do is I will attach this to a tripod with either 35 or 50 mm, and I will use a wireless trigger and communicate with the group and just snap it off wirelessly. So yeah, uh, I use three different lenses. This is my three Trinity lenses, which is the 35 mm, Sigma Art 1.4, 50 Sigma Art 1.4, and an 85 Sigma Art 1.42. So yeah, the reason why I love to use the art lenses series is because of the sharpness it gives. But sometimes it is a risk because if you shoot too shallow, you will really you can really miss the focus. So you have to be careful when you use a really sharp lens. So this is the reason why I always use the live view focus to make sure that all my shots are sharp and in focus. Okay, so another lens that I use for macro, it's a Nikon AFD 2.8 60 mm. It's quite an old lens, so I don't usually shoot macro, so it's quite a useful lens. Uh, because I only use this for ring shots or detailed shots. So this is quite a handy lens. Uh, Another lens that's not in here is currently using on the camera that's taking my video right now is a 1635. So I will use a 1635 lens for an instance where it's a really tight proximity or I want to take establishing shots. So I will either use a really wide shot to get the pictures going. No, yeah. So, so let's go to my film cameras. My favorite of all film cameras is the F100 Nikon, because it can fit all my other lenses, all my digital lenses, and it really takes really sharp photos. I love it right now. This camera is loaded with the film, so I can snap it off. So yeah, um, I've shot a few weddings with film, and the F100 really served me well. And I have one medium format, which is the Mamiya M645 100. Oh, I mean, sorry, Mamiya M645 1000S. It's actually battery powered, so sometimes it's a hit and miss, because this is quite a very old camera, which is actually older than myself. I'm only 27 years old, so imagine how old this camera is, but it still works quite well. There are instances that I accidentally shoot double exposure and it actually came out quite nice. Other than that, it's a really good camera though. But what film do I usually shoot with? It's either a Fuji Pro 400H or a Kodak Gold 100. Yep. So that's the kind of film that I use. For Asian, if you were to ask me for Asian, I usually like to use Kodak film roll, because it gives you the warm tones that we have. Yeah. Okay. So other secondary stuff that I use for my weddings, for instance, I used the hold fast system to hold both of my cameras. So that's how I use it. I'll just sway it over and just clip it off on both sides. And the reason why I actually love this hold fast is because it actually hugs your body, and it doesn't, take the weight doesn't take a toll on you. Yeah. I used to have a R strap, which is quite thinner, and it's made of I think it's canvas strap, if I'm not wrong. And it's when the camera is quite heavy, it actually hurts your shoulder. But for hold fast, it doesn't hurt your shoulder, and it's made of real leather, so it's quite thick. So yeah. So that's that. Alright, for all my other creative shots, I use Prism. Such an example would be this pyramid prism that I used, that I actually bought from Daiso. I don't know whether in your country there's Daiso. If you have it, it only cost me like $2 Singapore dollars. So it's actually quite cheap. I bought a few. And I bought some crystal bangles too, to get me some effects. And then a mirror for me to do some reflective shots, And I bought this thing called the fractal filter online, which actually is quite good though. It gives you 3 different filters. I don't know what this is called. I have this kind of prism, this kind, and a circular one. So yeah, different filter give you different effects, so you have to actually experiment on it. Sometimes prism gives you those flare effect that you want, so you really need to know how to use this filter. Okay, so some secondary stuff that I use is this water spray. I usually use this for my ring shot to get some spray effect on it. Yeah, so for lighting wise, I actually got a Godox flashlight. I got a few units for this, which I can actually pair up with a X1T that I will attach it to my camera, and I can actually shoot this wirelessly. Um, if you can see, I actually put an attachment here. This is actually the mag mod attachment. I got the normal set, which comes with the honeycombs grid and the normal diffuser attachment. Everything is magnetic, so you can just stick it there. And the good thing there is that they actually give you different filters, so you can get warm colors, you can get blue cool colors, and also green to counter the light. You can use all this for creativity. I might consider getting a max nude or max bounce in the future, but I'll see how. Okay, usually I will use this flash in a situation where it's a room that is dark and dark and small, where I can't use big lightings. So this will be good. I will usually turn it on, switch up to wireless, put it off flash or somewhere to fill up the room, and yeah. So I don't really like to have a direct flash on my couple because to me it doesn't feel nice. I like to have off camera flash because it gives you the depth. For big rooms, I will use this Godox 8600 flash strobe, which is actually a battery pack attached to the back. And yeah, put it on a light stand and place it somewhere in the ballroom to fill up the room. So the reason why I like to use this a lot during an event in a ballroom, or say a big area that needs to use flash, is because one, the recycling is really fast. Two, the power is quite strong and consistent. So this is the reason why I like to use the 8600. I will usually bring this everywhere I go. So yeah. So base so so basically that's what I use for my wedding. So if you have any questions, you can just drop it down below in the comment box. And if you like this video, do subscribe and give me a thumbs up.